This is a Swift Henbury, sorry. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker, you've got your gas bottle, which we're going to turn on. So you've got gas open and gas closed on top of the bottle. We're going to open it all the way up, so when you arrive on site, you can ignite everything on gas, so you can see everything is working as it should. You can carry a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles on the van at any point. Coming down the side of the van, you've got your heating and hot water flue. You need to leave this open at all times, so it allows the heating system to breathe. Down below, you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while it's in sight. They're only there for stabilising, not lifting the van. You've then got your water pump connection. Pull the blue trigger back, and release the pump to the side of the caravan, and push it in to lock it in place and release the blue trigger here. You then need to make sure the pickup pipe is fully submerged in the roll water, so you can fill the water system up. If it isn't fully submerged, you are likely to pull air up from the roll itself. You've then got your battery and mains power lead, so as part of your super starter pack, both these items, mains power lead plugs straight into the side of the van. And during the winter, we just advise you connect one side of the battery just so it doesn't drain the battery down over the winter storage. You've then got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the hot air out of the fridge unit and take some cool air in. And behind one of these vents, you'll actually find a gas flue. When the fridge is running on gas, it's generally on the top right hand side of the top cover. You've then got your motor mover and wheel nuts. We'll demonstrate the motor mover while you're here on site, and we'll the correct setting inside. We'll also demonstrate the motor mover so that it's operating correctly. Going further down the side of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank. The toilet flush tank is very simply there to allow the toilet system to flush. So you open this up with a key, you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid. In the bottom, you've got your toilet waste cassette, which you release by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away. The orange button on the back of the cassette is a pressure relief button, so when you tip the waste away, it doesn't spit and sputter. You've got your two great waste pipes coming outside the van. Two great waste pipes are simply there to allow the waste pipes outside the van. Oh yeah. On the back of the van, you've got your two wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. Again, they are only there for stabilising, not lifting the van. On the door side of the caravan, you have a storage locker underneath the front seating area. You have a 3-pin socket to have power out to your awning, barbecue gas point, and the last of the wind down legs. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. Above the door as you come in, you've got your main control panel. So you'll turn the power on the bottom right hand side of this control panel, so power on and power off. You've got your awning light for the outside of the caravan. You've got your dimming lights for above the front cabinets on the left and right hand side, and then you've got your roof lights for the caravan on the switch just here. You can individually switch all of these on and off as well. If you want to use the dimming light, when it says 100% here at the bottom, you can use the arrow here in the centre pointing to the left to change the brightness of the lights above the cabinets. Obviously the higher you go, the brighter them lights are going to be. Once you've got the power turned on above the door, you can come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the van, and underneath here you will find, just tucked away down the back here, a yellow valve. That yellow valve is the drain down valve for the water system on board the caravan. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. So flat with the floor prior to filling the water system up. Once you have that yellow valve flat with the floor, you can come over to every tap on board the caravan, open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, I've already filled the system. But just to show you how it feels, tap open on the hot side, and then you turn your water pump on above the door. Once the water pump's turned on above the door, you will start to have water flowing through the water system. You do need to make sure every tap has water coming out of it on the hot side of the system. If not, it could potentially cause an airlock in the system. Once all that water is flowing out the taps, you can shut all of the taps back off, and then you can start thinking about warming the water on board the van. Before I go on to that, I'm just going to show you where the isolator switches are for the heating and hot water, and the 12 volt fuses and the 240 fuses for the caravan. So on the top left hand side here of this control panel, you have a mains isolator. So you hit this button and it pops up. It means all the power inside the van is isolated. Under the panel on the far side of the box, you have your 12 volt fuses for your 12 volt systems on board the caravan. You then have your 240 trip switches for the caravan. If you're not sure if you've got mains power coming to the van, hit the test switch. If it drops down like it's just done, it means there is mains power coming to the caravan from the caravan site you're on. At the top here, you've got your reverse polarity from some European countries. You've then got your 240 charger for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan, and your heating and hot water. Now this is an isolator switch, so if this switch is off, it means there will be no mains power going to the heating and hot water control panel above the door. And the same with the 12 volt charger. If that switch isn't green and illuminated, it means there is no 240 volt coming into the caravan, and the charger will not be operating. So with the water system full, you can come to this control panel on the top left hand side above the door. So you can press the central button. The control panel will light up, and the first symbol you see flashing here is your room temperature for the caravan. So you press the central button and go into the options, and you spin the dial right or left to select your room temperature. If you want the heating off, you'll select the off position by pressing the central button. The same as if you want to turn it to 30 degrees, for instance, you'll hit the central button to select it. The next icon you see is the water temperature. So again, we'll hit the central button. You've got Eco, Hot or Boost for showering on board the caravan. I'm going to leave it on Boost for now so it warms up when you arrive on site, so you can see the water system is running. We come across to the right hand side, you've got the power supply that is coming into the caravan. Now you've got gas as a sole power source. You've got mix 1 and mix 2, which is 1000 and 2000 watts of power coming to the caravan respectively, and gas at the same time. Electric 1, which is 1000 watts of electric coming into the caravan, and electric 2, which is 2000 watts of power coming into the caravan. Press the central button to select the power source you want to use. As you can see, we are currently on 1000 watts of power, so there is one lightning bolt lit up at the top. If it does fail to ignite on gas, you're going to get a warning triangle down the bottom of the screen here, and an error code that comes up on the screen just to indicate it has failed to ignite. If you've got your heating and hot water, if you've got your heating turned on, you can actually use the blown air fans on board the caravan. So you press the central button. Oh, let's go back again. Press the central button, and then you can use the button in the centre here when the heating's on to turn it to the right or left to control the fan speed for the heating system. Down the bottom of the screen you have got some advanced options, and for these we do advise you read the manual completely that comes with the caravan for the heating system prior to operating these, because if I try to explain in the video you'll be here for around 2 to 3 hours. Next up is the fridge. Now the fridge is very straightforward to use. Power button on the top left hand side, screen will light up. Now at the moment you can see we're trying to ignite on gas. Now it has just failed to ignite on gas just due to the fact the gas wasn't turned on, was turned off before it was last turned off. So at the moment, if it ignites on gas, you've got the blue light here, and if this is solid blue but without this blue light on the left hand side lit up, it means you have gas coming into the caravan and the fridge is operating on gas. To change your power source, use 2 arrows on the top right hand side here. You've got your 240 mains coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. Again, if you have 240 mains coming in, the blue light here should say solid without this one lit up. You've then got your temperature control for the fridge on the right hand side here, and the more amount of bars you have lit up, the colder the fridge will be. You also then have the option to run 12 volt mode, so as you're towing down the road, once you connect to your car at the front of the caravan, you can select the 12 volt mode, and as long as this symbol is lit up here once you connect it to your car, it means the fridge is working as a cool box and you'll be able to put the beer and wine in there to get it nice and cold when you arrive on site. To turn the fridge off, you'll press and hold the power button and it will isolate the power to the fridge. One thing you need to remember is the 12 volt mode on here will only work from the car itself. It will not work from the caravan 12 volt battery. It is the 12 volt supply from the car, and it will only work if you have the correct connection on the back of your car and it is wired up correctly. Microwave, hob, grill and oven, all work very much like your household appliances. So you just press quick start for instance, and as you can see the microwave has come on. Hob, grill and oven, again all work very much like your household appliances with your igniter on the front here, as you'd expect to see. Coming through into the bathroom, the toilet has an electric flush on top, so you allow the toilet system to flush by hitting the flush button on top here. Have a toilet full indicator light that illuminates red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, as you can see here. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan, the toilet needs to be in the straight on position again. Then below the toilet you have your grey waste handle. You need to push the grey waste handle over into the right hand position to allow the waste into the toilet waste cassette. And then when you're not using the toilet, you'd have it back in the central position, and that will also allow you to remove the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan. So that's the Swift Henbury caravan. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to ask while you're here on site or via phone if you're on site with your caravan. We appreciate the business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.